Welcome to the Nordic Venture Show, your speed date with the hottest Nordic innovations and ventures. In this episode, our venture date is with IndoorAtlas, indoor location-based solutions.
Okay, welcome everyone to the deep dive. You guys have sent in some really cool stuff about IndoorAtlas.
Yeah.
And today we are diving into it.
Absolutely.
Trying to see what they offer, what their technology is about, and why it might be relevant for you. So to kind of give everyone an overview, IndoorAtlas, what are they?
So IndoorAtlas, they call themselves an enterprise-ready indoor location platform.
Okay.
And what's really interesting is that they have a patented 6-layer sensor fusion core.
Ooh, 6 layers.
6 layers. And that sounds pretty
very
sophisticated. Yeah. So they're not playing around.
No.
They also say that their technology is a cross-platform SDK.
Right.
Which I think means
it means
developers can integrate it, whether they're using iPhones or Android or whatever.
Yeah, for any platform. It's a huge advantage for developers.
Huge advantage for developers.
Yes.
And they say thousands of developers are already using it.
Over 130 countries.
Over 130 countries. Wow.
So that's a pretty good sign, I think, that this is like a well-established and reliable solution.
Absolutely. It addresses a real need.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get into this 6-layer sensor fusion core.
Right.
What is it? How does it work? What are these 6 layers?
So each layer provides a piece of information, like a puzzle, you know?
Yeah.
So they all work together to give you this accurate location indoors.
Okay.
The first layer is GPS.
Oh, okay. So like in our cars.
Right. GPS is great outdoors, but IndoorAtlas uses it as a starting point to understand the general location of the building you're in.
Okay, so it gives you like a rough idea of where the building is.
Exactly. Like, you know, a city block.
City block?
City block, yeah.
Got it.
The second layer is Wi-Fi, BLE, and RTT.
BLE and RTT, those are new ones for me. What are those?
So BLE stands for Bluetooth Low Energy, and RTT is round trip time.
Oh, okay.
They're really good for sensing when you move between indoors and outdoors.
Right.
And they work with existing Wi-Fi networks.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, very efficient.
So they can use the Wi-Fi that's already in a building, like in a store or something.
Right. Or they can work with Bluetooth beacons like iBeacon and Eddystone.
Oh, okay, like those little things.
Yeah, the little things.
Cool. So layer 3, what's that?
Layer 3 is geomagnetic.
Geomagnetic. Okay, what is that?
This is where it gets cool.
Mm-hmm.
Every building has a unique magnetic field signature, kind of like a fingerprint.
A fingerprint, like based on the materials in the building and the way it's built.
Exactly. IndoorAtlas uses these variations as an indoor map.
Wow, that's really interesting.
Yeah, it's a clever way to track devices indoors where GPS isn't so reliable.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, so what about layer 4?
Layer 4 is inertia.
Inertia, okay.
It uses the motion sensors in your phone, like accelerometers and gyroscopes.
Okay.
It tracks how you're moving.
So it knows if I'm like walking or standing still or maybe even running or something?
Exactly, or even if you're in a wheelchair.
Wow, that's very specific.
Yeah.
Okay, layer number 5.
That's VIO, or Visual Inertial Odometry. This is key for augmented reality, AR. It combines visual information from your phone's camera with data from the inertial sensors.
Okay.
So it understands your phone's position and orientation really precisely.
So like if I'm using an AR app and I'm trying to, I don't know, put a virtual couch in my living room or something.
Right.
It will stay in place even if I move my phone around.
Exactly.
Cool. And the final layer, number 6.
Layer 6 is barometric.
Barometric, okay.
It uses the pressure sensors in your phone to detect changes in air pressure.
Air pressure, so like the weather?
Not exactly weather, but it's the same principle.
Yeah.
These subtle changes can tell us if you're going up or down stairs using an elevator or even on an escalator.
Oh, wow, that's very clever. So it can detect those really small changes in altitude.
Exactly.
So all these layers together, that's how IndoorAtlas figures out where you are inside a building.
Exactly. And it's adaptable, secure, scalable, and cost-effective.
That's quite a list.
It is. What's really impressive is how the system balances and combines these layers. If GPS is weak, it relies more on Wi-Fi and geomagnetic data, and that ensures continuous positioning.
That's really smart. It's like a backup system built right in.
Precisely. It's about ensuring consistent accuracy.
So now that we understand the core technology, what about the products and features?
Right. They've got a really developer-friendly platform.
Okay.
Their main product is the Positioning SDK, But they also have a suite of other products that utilize this core technology.
Okay, what are some of those?
So there's wayfinding, for example.
Wayfinding, okay.
This allows for turn-by-turn navigation inside buildings.
Oh, that's really helpful, especially in large places.
Yeah, it's very useful. And it's customizable, so you can create smooth journeys.
Okay.
And they even have what they call points of interest, or POIs.
POIs, what are those?
So imagine you're at a convention center, and you want to find a specific booth.
Yeah.
POIs are specific locations that are tagged on the map, so you can get step-by-step directions.
Oh, that's super handy. Much better than just looking at a static map and trying to figure it out yourself.
Absolutely. It makes navigating those large, complex spaces so much easier.
What else is there?
They also have geofence.
Geofence, okay.
This lets apps trigger actions or deliver content based on your location.
Okay, so like if I walk into a certain store and the store has an app,
Right.
they could send me a coupon or something.
Exactly. Or maybe adjust the app's settings when you enter a secure area in an office.
Oh, that's really interesting. It's all about being in the right place at the right time.
It's about delivering relevant experiences.
Yeah, that's cool. What else?
Then there's Heatmap.
Heat map, okay.
This tool visually shows how people move around in indoor spaces.
Oh, wow.
It's great for understanding foot traffic patterns, optimizing layouts, and even seeing how employees use office space.
Yeah, that could be really useful for businesses like retailers or even office managers.
Absolutely. It provides valuable insights.
Okay, what else do they have?
They also focus on augmented reality.
Augmented reality, AR, yeah.
They allow for the creation of interactive, location-aware AR experiences.
Oh, that's cool.
So imagine virtual arrows guiding you through a building or seeing ads embedded in your real-world view.
Yeah, the possibilities for AR seem endless, especially in indoor spaces.
Absolutely. It can really enhance those experiences. They also offer dwell time analytics.
Real-time analytics, okay.
This provides data on how long people spend in specific areas.
Okay.
So imagine you can see how long people stay in different parts of a store.
Right.
It's valuable for understanding customer engagement.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And if you prefer cloud-based access, they have a Positioning REST API.
Oh, so you don't have to integrate the entire SDK into an app.
Right. You can access the positioning data through the cloud.
That's convenient.
And they also have a data REST API for accessing user positioning data and integrating it with other platforms.
Okay, for like business analytics and stuff.
Exactly.
What else?
Another interesting product is Device Tracker.
Device tracker.
It's a cross-platform solution for monitoring the location of devices.
Okay, so like smartphones or even like those little Internet of Things sensors.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
it has a central dashboard for managing everything.
That's pretty cool. I can imagine that being useful for all sorts of things like tracking equipment in a hospital or inventory in a warehouse.
Yeah. Or logistics companies, asset tracking, all sorts of applications.
Really valuable.
Very valuable. They also have a recommendation SDK.
Oh, so they can use location data to suggest things to users.
Exactly, like the nearest meeting room or a product in a store based on your location.
That's pretty cool. So it's like personalized recommendations based on where you are.
Precisely. And finally, they offer a deployment service to help with implementation.
So they've really thought of everything.
Yeah, they've got the whole process covered.
From development to integration to ongoing management.
Exactly.
So how does all of this actually play out in the real world? Do they have examples of how it's being used?
Oh, absolutely. There are some really interesting real-world applications.
Yeah, let's hear about those. That's always the most interesting part.
One example is Sands Macau.
Sands Macau, that's that huge resort, right?
Right, it's massive. They use IndoorAtlas to understand how guests move through the resort and optimize their experience.
Oh, so they're probably using those heat map and dwell time analytics we talked about earlier.
Exactly. They can optimize the placement of high-value services, understand underutilized areas, and even personalize offers.
So they can see like where people are spending the most time, where the bottlenecks are, and things like that.
Exactly. It helps them create a better guest experience and maximize their revenue.
Yeah, that makes sense. What other examples are there?
Another great one is San Diego International Airport.
San Diego Airport, okay.
They implemented smart carts with location finding.
Oh, wow. So like the carts you use to carry your luggage.
Exactly. Those carts can now guide passengers to their gates.
That's super helpful. Airports can be so confusing to navigate.
Absolutely. It takes a lot of the stress out of travel.
And that's all powered by IndoorAtlas's Positioning SDK, right?
Right. The SDK is the foundation, providing that precise location data that makes these smart carts possible.
Cool. Any other examples?
There's also the Hong Kong Science and Technology Park.
Okay, what did they do there?
They use IndoorAtlas for location-aware services to support their community of innovators.
Okay, so like wayfinding around the park or maybe getting access to specific labs.
Exactly. They can also provide information about nearby events and create a more connected environment.
That's pretty cool. So it's like creating a smart campus.
Exactly.
It sounds like IndoorAtlas is being used in a lot of different places.
Yeah, they even highlight using it in workplaces.
Workplaces, okay.
This could include things like indoor navigation to meeting rooms or location-based services for facility management.
So like reporting a maintenance issue and having the maintenance crew know exactly where to go?
Precisely. It can also be used for security and access control.
Really versatile.
Very versatile.
They also talk about this idea of location intelligence, right?
Yeah, they see it as a way to unlock new indoor experiences.
Okay.
They talk about hyperlocal maps and navigation, especially in Japan, where they have a huge deployment.
Japan. Wow, so they're operating at a pretty large scale.
Absolutely. It shows how robust and reliable their platform is. They also work with event venues like Jarbers and global trade shows.
Oh, so like those big exhibition halls and the stuff.
Exactly. They're using IndoorAtlas for digital transformation and location-aware applications.
Okay, so like interactive maps and personalized recommendations for attendees.
Precisely. It can really enhance the attendee experience and provide organizers with valuable data.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They also use this term, intelligent edge, to describe how their technology can be combined with things like augmented reality.
Intelligent edge, okay.
It's about making indoor spaces more dynamic and responsive to the people within them.
I like that. It's like the spaces themselves are becoming smarter.
That's the idea.
So, all of this sounds very impressive, but how easy is it for developers to actually use this technology?
Right. That's a key question.
Because if it's too complicated, it's not going to be very widely adopted.
Exactly.
So, what do they do to make it easy for developers?
Well, first of all, they have a cross-platform SDK, which we talked about earlier.
Right.
This means developers can use it for iOS, Android, and other platforms.
Makes sense.
They also have comprehensive developer documentation.
Okay, so like a guide on how to use everything.
Exactly. Walks them through the integration process step by step.
That's good.
And for those who prefer a more hands-on approach, they have code samples on GitHub.
Oh, that's always helpful.
Yeah, it lets developers see real-world examples. They also provide technical support.
So if a developer runs into a problem, they can get help?
Exactly. They have a team dedicated to helping developers succeed.
That's great.
And they also have a developer blog where they share updates and best practices. They even mention some recent blog posts, like updates on beacon management and the release of SDK 3.6.9.
So they're actively keeping developers informed.
Absolutely. They're very engaged with the developer community.
And I think this is important. They mention that getting started is free.
Right. That's a huge advantage.
Yeah, because developers can try it out without any risk.
Exactly. They can build prototypes and see how it works for them.
That's a great way to encourage adoption.
Absolutely. It lowers the barrier to entry.
So stepping back a bit, what's the bigger picture here? What's IndoorAtlas's overall vision?
They see themselves as a partner in creating smart indoor spaces.
Smart indoor spaces, okay.
They really emphasize their patented geomagnetic fusion core as a key differentiator.
Right, that 6-layer technology we talked about.
Exactly. Their goal is to elevate indoor experiences and power location-based solutions.
So they're not just providing technology, they're trying to change how we interact with indoor spaces.
Absolutely. They're at the forefront of a new era of indoor experiences. They also claim to achieve last-meter accuracy.
Oh, last meter accuracy, wow.
Yeah, it's impressive. And they have over 1 million monthly users, which shows how reliable they are.
Yeah, that's a pretty good endorsement.
Absolutely. It shows they're delivering on their promises.
And they emphasize how their products can speed up time to market.
Right. Developers can leverage their expertise and technology to build solutions faster.
So they're not just providing the tools, they're helping developers succeed.
Exactly. It's a win-win situation.
So to kind of wrap up our deep dive here, it seems like IndoorAtlas offers a very comprehensive and advanced platform for indoor positioning and location-based services.
I agree.
They have this sophisticated sensor fusion technology, and they're really focused on supporting developers.
Absolutely. They're tackling a complex problem with a very innovative and practical approach.
Yeah, and they're not just focused on the technology itself, they're thinking about the bigger picture of how it can be used to create better experiences in all sorts of indoor environments.
Right. They're looking at the impact on businesses, users, and the overall evolution of indoor spaces.
So as we think about all the different ways this technology could be used, from retail to airports, to trade shows and beyond, it really makes you wonder, what unique challenges or opportunities could this technology address in your own field?
That's a great question to consider.
Yeah, because the possibilities seem almost endless. If you're interested in exploring more, I highly recommend checking out the IndoorAtlas website.
Absolutely. They have a lot of great information and resources for developers.
And who knows, maybe this technology could be the key to unlocking the next big innovation in your industry.
It's certainly worth exploring.
So thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the world of IndoorAtlas.
It's been a fascinating discussion.
Until next time.
Thanks for listening to the Nordic Venture Show. Don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for more stories of innovation from the Nordics.